Hello again, everybody, and welcome to episode 31 of the Board Game Nerds podcast. I'm your host, Nick, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Ayub.
Hello.
It's been a tiresome week. I'm so excited to do this episode and just relax, and then back to it. How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty much the same. It's also an exciting episode, so and then the weekend is coming up, and even more times for board games.
Today we have like a 6 months period since we did our Essen 2024 most anticipated list, and today we're gonna have a look back and see if what we anticipated was actually what we actually ended up enjoying. So we will do like our top 10, mention some honorable mentions, compare where they were in our anticipated list, where they ended up now, what we played, what we did not, and so on and so forth. But before we do that, of course, we need to talk about the games that we've been playing. Ayub will take you through Ra, while I will take you through Underwater Cities. Ayub, take it away.
All right. Ra, the Sun God, by another great designer, almost a god himself, but a doctor at least, and that is Rainer Knizia. Ra is in my opinion, a really, really fun game, and it's an auction game that sometimes might feel there's a little bit of push-your-luck element, but in its essence, it is an auction game. You will play this game over 3 rounds, where players will take turns to either draw a tile from a back and put it up for auction, or say, you know what, I like the tiles that are right now up for auction, so I will start the auction. That's the only 2 things you can do on your turn. You either draw. Well, there's another little thing, but mainly the only 2 things you can do on your turn. You can either draw from the back to increase what we're going to auction off, or you can start the auction. When you start the auction, you'll be the last player to bid, and everybody else will start bidding first. All that sounds simple enough, but the cool part is that the auction, what you can actually bid, is limited. Each player, depending on player count, will have either 3 or 4 tiles they can auction with, which have a specific bid on it. So it can be a 5, it can be an 8, it can be a 13. 13 is the highest unless you play with the 5-player count. Then I think it goes a bit higher. And 1 is the lowest. 1 will start in the center of the table. So whenever you win an auction, you lose that auction tile and you get the tile from the center and flip it face down on your board, and this is what you will have for the second round, because there is a total of 3 rounds in Ra. This means there might be something that's really good that you want to win so much that you are willing to use your 13, but if it's the first bid and there's a 1, you also know you will have the 1 for the next round. So that's an interesting little thing. So in let's say a 4-player game, everybody has 3 of those auction tiles. The 1 will start in the middle, so 1 will always flip back and forth out of the middle. The tiles you can win has there's 2 different types. There are some that will give you something in this round, and then there are some that will stack and give you a little bit every round or at the end of the game. So let's take a little bit of a look at what those tiles are. You have the God tile, and this is the tile that breaks the rule that I just mentioned before, because on your turn, actually, instead of pulling out another tile or starting the bid, you can say, you know what, I'm going to use my God tile to just take any tile that is right now up for auction. Then you have the gold tile, which will just give you 3 points at the end of the round. Of course, if you have multiple of those, you get multiple points. Then you have the civilization tiles. You need at least 1, otherwise you lose 5 points. And then if you have 3 different ones, you gain 5, 4 different, you gain 10, 5 different, you gain 15. Then we have the flood tiles. They will give you 1 point, and they also boost the Nile tiles, which is some of the ones you keep between rounds. So those 4 were the one you will score this round and lose them again. The Nile tiles will give you 1 point for every Nile tile you have, but only if you get a flood tile. So for some players, it might be even more lucrative to get that flood tile out there because they collected 8 Nile tiles, and you need those flood tiles to get points for them. The Pharaoh tiles, for some reason, I don't know, I really like to get Pharaoh tiles. Whoever has the most Pharaoh tiles get 5 points. Whoever has the least gets -2. And ties are both players will get it, both for the positive and a negative. So the 2 with the most will both get 5 points. The 2 with the least will both lose 2 points if it's a tie in that sense. Then you have the monument tiles, which are the building tiles. They come in different numbers, And if you have 3 of the same number, it's 5 points. If you have 4 of the same, it's 10. If you have 5 of the same, it's 15. And then if you have if you have different ones, sets, you gain 1 point for each, unless you actually get to 7 or 8 different ones, then it scales, going to 10 points and 15 points. So that was just quickly that you will have some instant tile, let's call that, or like a round tile that you lose at the end of the round, and then you have some tiles you collect for the whole game to score at the end. The thing is, in this bag, there are also these Ra tiles, and the Ra tiles are some red tiles with a picture of the sun god, and when you draw a Ra tile, the auction starts and the round counter moves. And when the round counter moves all the way to the end, the round immediately ends, which means you actually want to make sure you get to use your bits for this round, because if you don't, everybody will flip their tiles back up, have a new round, set it ready, so you're not saving anything for the next round. Of course, you could be getting worse bidding tiles for the next round, but you're not saving anything by not winning these auctions. This creates a tension, especially towards the end of the round, where you go, okay, I really want something more for my higher value tiles, but I also really want to make sure I get something. And people might see, okay, you know, Nick, he's been greedy, he saved his high value tiles, so I'm going to just start auctions while there are not so many tiles. And also, really putting you in a decision of what to do. The game sometimes have this situation where fewer people might be, saving their, let's say, money, but, there are tiles for auctioning until towards the end, and then it's exciting to see if they get something or not. I won't say is neither a good or a bad play, but it might give some good stuff in the end, or you might feel like, okay, you, let's say, push your luck a little bit too far, and you should definitely have bid on something earlier. All of that is interesting. It is a very fast game in that sense. You can play those 3 rounds. I will say if everybody knows the game, it can easily be like 30 to 45 minutes. Of course, if there are new players, you need to explain a little bit about the tiles and how the auction works, but it's quite straightforward. So a good time length. Interesting that you're always kind of engaged, even on other players' turns, because you want to know what they draw, because it's not just their turn, they're also increasing what you can win for your bid. And then when somebody bids, there's also this interesting idea of, okay, I do want to bid my 7, but the lowest tile the next player has is an 8. So you actually know what people can bid. So I could bid my 10, because then they need to use their 12 to get it. I'm sure they wouldn't do that. So this also make you kind of want to be aware of what everybody got and is doing all the time. So yeah, that is Ra. It's fast. It's good looking, especially if you have the special 25th year anniversary edition. And yeah, how do you feel about Ra, Nick?
I don't really like it. I'm not the biggest fan of the game. I've played both the old edition and the new edition a couple of times, like more than a couple of times actually. But I feel like this game hasn't clicked for me, and I will get to why later. But first, let's try and focus on the positive. Ayub, what makes Ra stand out for you as an auction game? I know you like auctions in general. What makes it stand out?
Yes, I think the fact that you only have 3 or 4 bids you can do for this whole round. You don't know how long the round is, and you can see and don't have to consider, okay, am I spending 10, 11, 12 money? Oh, maybe I should spend 20 as a good. No, you only have these 4 options. And your winning bid decides what you can use to auction in the next round. I think that's super cool. And it has nothing to do with how good what you got was. It's just which tiles were in there. So you're also not only bidding for the points you want, you're also bidding for your money in the next round. I think that's very unique. I don't think I've seen that in any other auction game.
Ra is part of what people call the auction trilogy of Ra and Kinesia. Mm-hmm. How does this compare to Modern Art and Medici? You've played both, right?
Yes, I played both.
That are also in the auction trilogy.
Yeah.
How do you feel about them compared to Ra?
Yes, I think if you play Medici at the highest count, you have all information. It's open there all the time. Ra, you have a mix. You can kind of see some of the information coming out there, and in Modern Art, it comes a little bit along the way. I also think in Modern Art, you just have money, like, behind a screen, and in Medici, points are money and money are points. Where here in Ra, you just have those tiles. There's no point tracks, anything along that vein. I think Ra is. I wanted to say maybe Modern Art is the crazy one. If you want to try the crazy auction game of these three, I think say go Modern Art. People are screaming. There are different auctions. There's a lot of player interaction in this, that you talk loud and you talk about all of this stuff. Medici, I think, is the very much in the right player count that you trying to think and count and be okay, very strategic. And Ra is somewhere in between that for me. You want to make some strategy, but also you can't be sure. And so that's where I'll put them in those. But I like all three games. Mostly Ra and Medici are higher for me.
Okay. And now I'll get to the complaining part. I will tell you, because I really sat down when you told me to talk about this game, and I called myself and I said, Nick, let's see why maybe you don't like this game. And I made some points.
Let's go.
Why I don't like it. And I want to see how those points go up against somebody who loves the game.
Mm-hmm.
So the first problem I have with the game is that there's no control over the market. What comes out is completely random, and sometimes that makes me feel like the game is playing me instead of me actually playing the game.
Mm-hmm. That's your first complaint? All right. For me, I will say, first of all, the market tiles, there's only 6 different types. So it's not there's this one thing that gives you 100 points and there's this thing that gives you 2 points. They all kind of scale similar in one way, and therefore, personally, I see that as less as a problem. Secondly, I think the controlling part comes from you being able to start the auction, kind of pushing people to, that this isn't really what they want, but there's something in there they want. So doing these things can kind of give, in my eyes, give some sense of control. Even sometimes I'd be I'm pretty sure I don't want this. I don't mind it spending my 1 for it, but I'm pretty sure somebody else don't want me to get all of this for a 1, so they will bid higher, get a versatile and stuff. And I think the control come from there. Last but not least, of course, this is not a super heavy 3-hour game, so I'm not saying you have full control, but I don't think this game needs that.
Cool. I can understand that, but it leads perfectly into my second point, which is just because what you said, that there are only 6 types of tiles and you do this thing, the game can feel very repetitive for me.
Mm-hmm.
After I've played it 5 or 6 times, I feel like I'm doing the same thing all over. I can clearly see who will win the bid just because all the bids are open, and I know that every sane person, every logical person that sees this, and I can see the numbers, I immediately know who will win the auction. How do you feel about the fact that all auctions are clear who will win them? There's not so much tension because, I can see 5 tiles, I can see you have that, I can see what you have,
yeah.
You'll get it.
I think this depends on who plays it, because the thing, when people know the game, if everybody, let's say we know the game, the control comes from starting the auctions at the right time. So if we pull too much, that means, then we kind of know in which direction it's going. And you should do that because you want those people to, let's say, win, maybe go out of the round earlier so you can get something, or use their higher number so you can win that for the next round and stuff. But yeah, I don't think it's the replayability comes from the game in that sense itself. It comes from changing with the different players, if that makes sense.
Replayability comes from playing with other people, not playing with the same people.
The game is very different depending on what is an auction game, and I think in general that goes for a lot of auction games. If you have some crazy bidders, then you need to play different when you play with them. If you have some...
Yeah, but the thing is, with other auction games where you can bid on something that people don't know how much you'll bid, then no matter who's against me, I don't know how many money does he have behind that thing. Maybe he has 20, maybe he has 30, maybe, especially if it's an open economy, not a closed economy, then the auction becomes much more interesting, at least in my eyes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Here, the auction feels not very interesting because, a Yubi's a logical person. I can see he has the 13. I can see there are 5 tiles. He needs 3 of them. No matter what I do, he will bid for it.
Yeah, but then I think if the 5 tiles were, let's say, that good, and my 13 is out there, then the tactics will be to try and get the 13 also for the next round. So you have that. Hopefully you gain the 13 because you then lost something early, if that makes sense.
Hopefully is a good word that you use here. So yeah. And that actually leads perfectly to my next complaint, which is the starting tile distribution.
Okay.
That feels a bit unfair because naturally, if there's a key auction in the beginning and somebody has like what's the biggest number, 13, 14?
Yeah.
Then that will naturally be an advantage to them.
Yeah, no, I think
if compared to other auction games where you start with money and you have all and you don't know who will win.
I hear what you say. I think if you only had one tile each, then that would very much be a problem. But because you have 3 or 4 each, the game has distributed them in such a way that if you have the 13, you also have some lower ones as well, right? And that means I don't necessarily, from my place, I don't think that just because you had the 13 in the beginning, you won, for example. I think that means, of course, that the other player should not fill it all the way up if they don't want that person to just use the 13 for that. You kind of need to maybe push them earlier.
Yeah. And that, everything leads perfectly to my next complaint. And that leads to my next complaint, which is this game needs a lot of players to be played. I mean, you can't play 2 or 3 players. It just doesn't have the same hype. But if you play it with more players, you have way less control over what other people do. Because let's say I start and I see you have the 13, and then they draw, then you suddenly have 5 tiles to play for, And that's like, you need a higher player count, but then you can also not strategize that well on a higher player count, so that puts the game in a very awkward situation where I will never pull it out with 2 people. I'm not going to play it at 3 probably. Yeah, 4 and 5, some casual friends here, we might play it, but I don't know if I'll get the same excitement as playing any other auction game, I feel.
I think 4 is a good player count. I think it allows for those things that I mentioned. Because between your turn and the next people's turn, they could maximum have added 3 tiles, and then you can start the auction if you want, right? I wouldn't play it at 2. 3 wouldn't be as good. Maybe it could be okay, I think, but definitely 4 and 5 is what I would like to. Then saying, you mentioning that, I don't see a lot of other games, 4 or 5, that could be played in like under an hour and still give me this excitement. Personally, I know you might not like that.
Very recent example, Flip 7.
Yeah.
Like, I would always play Flip 7 over this.
Oh,
it has the push your luck thing. It has the, not even 1 hour, like 10, 15, 20 minutes is like, and that's just on the top of my head.
Yeah.
I think I can probably find.
Okay, I think Flip 7 is way more random than this. But
no, it is, but it's a 10-minute game and not a 1 hour long game.
Yeah,
so I don't mind the randomness. And also, Flip 7, you might say it's random, but you can actually calculate a lot of stuff because you have all the things in the deck and you can say, there are 12 12s in the deck and the deck has 150 cards. So if I draw, there's a 15% chance.
Yeah. I know what you're saying with that, but it's still more random than Ra, I think. Ra, you also could know, if you want to, how many tiles there is, how many Ra tiles have been out.
Way more difficult knowing exactly the number of tiles in a bag than knowing simple numbers, which is very clear. 12 12s, 11 11s, 10 10. This is something like, it's very easy to know. While in Ra, you have to actually go and, not the word I mean, but try hard to know all the tiles, which is not something I'll do for.
And also, in Flip 7, 3 or 4 numbers, if you have those cards, will just kill you. That's why I say it's more random.
Exactly.
When Ra, it's just, this tile is good or less good for me, but it doesn't end your round, right?
Yes. So but ending the round is not a problem in Flip 7 because rounds take 30, 40, 50 seconds, 1 minute.
So if you're going by time, then Flip 7 wins.
Yes. And by excitement, I mean.
Yeah.
For me personally.
Yeah.
Because I can play 5 games of Flip 7 in the time that I would get to play Ra, and I would feel more adrenaline rush and more engaged because of that aspect, 15% chance. Fuck. Okay, I'll draw.
Yeah.
It will generate more. At least my dopamine levels.
I understand it. I also like Flip 7. Yeah. I like Ra more. I like both games.
I could go on, but I feel like we need to stop at some point. I think I expressed why I don't like Ra personally. I know it's a very well-loved game. Definitely. I know there's an expansion on the way for it.
So excited. Yeah. Probably in 1 or 2 months, I'll have that.
And something like a roll and ride is also coming
as well, yeah.
So, some redeeming qualities might appear.
It's called Ra and Ride.
Ra and Ride.
Yeah.
How original.
Fun.
All right. Let's talk about a real... No, I shouldn't say a real game. Let's talk about a heavy game. Yeah. Let's talk about the game Underwater Cities. Underwater Cities is a game that I've played just as it was released back in 2018, is designed by none other than Vladimir Suchi and published by Delicious Games. And it is a mix of worker placement and engine building. You are trying to build these cities, yes, underwater, and you have a tableau in front of you, which is very symmetrical in the base game. But if you get the first expansion, which is, I think, the New Frontier, Next Frontier, something like that is called, then you can have an asymmetrical start, which is something like Prelude for Terraforming Mars. I would always play with it now that I've seen it. The main concept is you play over a series of rounds, 10 in the base game, 9 in the expansion, and over those rounds, all you do is take 3 worker placement actions. There are a number of different spots on the board, and they are categorized into 3 colors: red, green, and yellow. The 3 actions have a different strength level. So, for example, yellow is the strongest, red is the middle thing, wrong, red should be the strongest, and then green is the weakest action. Now, while you place your worker, you also must play 1 card from your hand. You will start the game with 6, you will keep 3, and at the start of your turn, you will always discard down to 3, no matter what, unless you have some special things going on. Now, the card you play can also have will also have one of the 3 colors of the 3 worker placement spots. And if it matches the color you worker placed on, you will also get to activate the cards. And the cards are the reverse of the worker placement spots. So green cards are overpowered, red cards are mid, and then yellow cards are weak. So that creates a very nice tension of, do I want the good card with the bad worker placement spot, or do I want the good worker placement with the bad? Of course, you can go to any spot you want, and if you play a card that doesn't match, you simply just discard the card. So if you really want the worker placement spot, you can still have it, even if you don't draw the correct color. But you usually want to try and combine them. The thing you are trying to do in the game is actually build your network of cities and roads. Your starting board will have 3 metropolis tiles placed at the edges of your board, and those metropolis tiles will give you some income, instant, and endgame benefits. And you are trying to connect your 1 starting cities to those metropolises via the construction of roads and cities. Your whole network will produce 3 times during the game, and you will get a lot of resources. And after every production, you feel so OP. You feel like you can do everything. But then after you take 1 or 2 actions and spend everything, you're getting like, shit, now I'm back to collecting. And then at the end of the game, you will score for all the network you've built, all the cards you have, the metropolis you've tried to connect, and this kind of stuff. There are 4 base resources in the game in the form of steel plast, kelp, science, and credits. They are used for all different kinds of stuff, like building roads, like building cities, and then each city can hold buildings, 3 different types of buildings. You can build and upgrade them. They will give you something during the income phase, and if you upgrade them, then they will give you more and more and more. And then after you do all your income, the 3 times per game, you will also have to feed your cities. You will need 1 kelp per city. There are 2 types of cities, the white and the purple. I think they're called non-symbiotic and symbiotic, which just means like people can live there and people can't live there or something like that. The white ones are very cheap to build, but they don't offer you anything. They're just there to, you can continue your network, and they count as a city for all purposes of cities that you may need. The purple ones are a bit stronger. They produce during the production phase, and they produce points, which is good, although not what you would want from production. And they are more expensive to build. During the course of the game, there are also some special cards laid out on the board, and they are categorized in endgame special cards. And then there is also a stack with 1 card face up that you can also take that has like the in-game special cards. There's a specific action spot where you can go and grab one of these special cards, a very sought after worker placement spot from my experience from the game. And those cards are just like regular cards. They still have colors, but they are a bit stronger. They also require you to pay some credits to play. You begin the game by having an assistant, which is symmetrical at the base game and then asymmetrical as you move to the expansion. And also your starting resources can change depending on if you play the base game or the expansion. So you play for 9 or 10 rounds, you do your worker placement thing, you do your card playing thing. Cards can be all sorts of things. They can be income, they can be one-time effects, they can be endgame things, they can be passive abilities, and they can also be action cards. And there are some worker placement spots that will actually allow you to activate those cards. And when you are back at the production, floop, you untap them all, and then you can also start reusing them. There is also a joker resource called Biomatter, which is like mandatory to build a symbiotic series, but is also very, very hard to get and can act as a joker resource for kelp and steel plast. This is just the basis of the game. The game has tons of stuff that I don't possibly have the time to get into, but the basic is The basic thing is you play 9 or 10 rounds. Each round you have 3 worker placement actions, and with every worker placement action you also play a card with it. If the card matches the color of your action, you also activate the card. Every few rounds you do a big production. After the production you feel rich and you do stuff, and then at the end of the final round you do a final scoring, and whoever has the most points and has the better network wins the game. That's pretty much how it feels. That's pretty much how it is. I really, really enjoyed it. It has many similarities to Terraforming Mars-esque games, and I think that's probably one of the reasons that I enjoy it so much. You've also played it. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I also found it really cool. I had the same problem in my very first game of it as I had in Deus. Make sure to mix the cards. There was somebody who played it before. It was at the board game cafe, and I just only drew one color almost. So that was annoying. But other than that, and especially afterwards trying it again, much better. So yeah. And as you just mentioned, it was similar to those games. Do you then feel... Is there something that makes it like stand out a bit from them, or is it... Or like...
Definitely. I mean, if you take Terraforming Mars, Ark Nova, and Earth, you always compare those 4 in the... It has worker placement, something that the other games do not. And you also, the thing you construct with your city, you have something like that in Ark Nova with your zoo, but it's not something you actually work on Terraforming Mars or Earth, because you're actually building something yours and it's your tableau and you have to connect things. It feels more like the Ark Nova map than it does with Terraforming Mars and Earth, building it there. But yeah, that's pretty much
cool.
Yeah.
And it also makes sense, like you said, with the Endless Winter and that stuff, that you use your cards to go somewhere.
Man, I did not remember how the game played, and then I rediscovered it recently. I'm like, damn, we have this game in this house. We should play it more.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact, 2025, a new expansion is coming. It's called Data Era. It will introduce a new resource and a new type of city.
Yeah.
Super.
Coming out at Essen, I believe.
Okay. Oh, my God. All right. So we're definitely getting it.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
All right. Cool. So this episode is specifically about the episode we did 6 months ago.
Exactly.
Back then, we were just about to head out for Essen, and we made, like, you couldn't possibly know what you were going to necessarily see and get.
Yes.
Of course, some games were out, and we knew a little bit about them. Some we knew a lot about, and we made our top 10 hype list. This is our revised, like, we visited the list again. We made our new list after, like, the stuff we got from Essen, what has been really good, what has been, super good or just a bit good, and we made our new top 10 list. As we go through them, we'll mention where they were on our old list. And that's just it. Should we head straight to it?
Yes, I'm super excited. I will kick it off with my number 10 game.
Let's go. Exciting.
My number 10 game was an honorable mention by me.
Okay.
In our, actually, second episode of all time.
Yeah.
It was an honorable mention, so it ended up making the top 10, and it is a small game called Fate Flip Lost Ashore. It is a small campaign game where you strand on an island. I can see it over there. And you just have a deck of cards, and you read through it, and you make decisions, and depending on your decisions, you put the cards on the back of the deck or flip them around and do things like that. I played it so much, I still haven't managed to win. I really want to win the game and then toss it out of the window forever. Yeah, but it's really enjoyable. It's just small, short. You can just be sitting on a train, and just have a go at it. You can just sit on the couch, just chilling, just have a game at it. You could argue that you can play with more people, just, discussing your choices, but I would probably not do that. I think there are other things I can do. I really, really like it. I hear there's another Fate Flip coming in New Essen, in 2025's Essen Spiel. So I'm also excited about that. So my number 10 is Fate Flip. You haven't played it.
I haven't tried it at all, no. Yeah. Did I also hear about it on one of your Patreon's episodes? Was it a solo?
Maybe. Oh, yeah, it was on my solo list. Yeah.
Right?
Maybe it was there. Yeah. It wasn't.
All right, cool. Yeah. Exciting. My number 10, I don't think I should talk too much about it because we talked about it recently. It wasn't on my list at all before, but after meeting both the two of the designers down there, getting it back home, trying it, it rose higher than a lot of the other things I mentioned last time, which is out on my list, and we'll hear more about that later. And it is Sparks.
Oh.
So, yeah, Sparks is a lot of fun. I think it has this great weight that can work for both lighter players, but also heavier board gamers. That is cool. It's kind of also a double-edged sword, because then sometimes maybe You want heavy or light, not in between. But I do think everyone should have something of that weight in their collection. So you can always find that. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Sparks fills that spot perfectly, and that is why it's my number 9 game. I did not mention it as well. I did not know about it. You told me excitingly, man, I met those 2 cool people, designers. I got their game. They signed the box. It looked cute, but not like the cute. It's like the good cute, but I like. And then we put it on the table, and I'm like, oh, damn. That is a good game. And then I discovered there's a solo mode, and I'm like, damn, that's a good solo mode. So yeah, Sparks overall, very happy to have it. And it's one of our games that we have representing our library here.
We need to take a picture of that soon.
Yeah, we should probably upload it soon, yeah. All right, my number 9, Sparks.
Cool. My number 9 was not on my list last time, so it's also a new edition. Okay. It is a new version of an older game. And it is Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth.
Oh, nice. That was on my list on number 7.
Last year.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Huge graphic update from the normal Seven Wonders Duel. Vincent Dutrait, we know him from Amun-Re, Heat, Quest for El Dorado, Medici that we talked about earlier. And also Unconscious Mind also as well. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Looks beautiful. Streamlined a bit. Although I still think some of the things you do with the...
locations?
Those locations up there.
Too OP?
Yeah, it's just not A and then comes B. You still need to be a little bit. It's not a problem for me at all, but it's almost like that's the only thing that seems not everybody could get it straight away, right? Like the rest of the game you can play with even your grandma almost here, right? So, but still very cool, very beautiful, very fast, nice duel game. My number 9, Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth.
At this point of the episode, I need to tell you that me and Ayub have not talked about our lists. We have no idea what the other person did, so any similarities you might see are completely random. Having said that, my number 8 game, dropping 1 spot from my initial expectations, is the Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth, which is crazy that we had 2 back-to-back. Yeah, Ayub summed it up perfectly. I was a huge fan of Seven Wonders Duel before. I'm still a huge fan of Seven Wonder Duel, but I'm still now a huge fan of... the Lord of the Rings Duel.
Yeah.
It does what Seven Wonder does with an amazing theme, a few streamlined things, as you said. I mean, I still think Seven Wonders Duel with all the expansions is, for me, a better game right now, but I can definitely see Lord of the Rings Duel becoming a better game if more content comes to it. And number 8, Lord of the Rings Duel.
Yeah, and the plastic overlay with Frodo riding with
very
the ring.
Nice.
It's just
it's
such
very,
a...
In the first game we played, it was so trippy.
Yeah.
It was like, man, I'm walking. Why are you still behind me?
Yeah.
And then we realized that no matter how much you walk, you cannot escape. They're always following you.
Exactly. That was very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, I want to say good pick because of that. Well.
Okay, let's keep doing that.
All right.
I don't think we will now.
No. Yeah. I am pretty sure my next pick will not be on your list.
All right. Good to hear.
It is. It was number 10 for me last year.
I know what it is.
And
it's not on my list because I haven't played it.
You haven't played it yet. Well, you should soon, though.
Yeah, sure.
It is the Acropolis expansion, Athena, and a good expansion can be 2 things for me. One, it can, change the game and add some stuff where you're like, man, this is what the game always needed. Or just if the game was really good, add some more of the really good stuff, right? Those are the things we kind of look for in an expansion. Acropolis fixed what I... not hated about Acropolis, but what I thought was the weak part. So in the normal Acropolis where you draft these tiles, stars seemed so good, unless you had a bunch of stars, which has the multipliers for the different colors. It's an abstract tiling game in its essence. You were always going for the stars, and it felt like there were too big of a difference in the tiles. Now with the Athena, since there are these different goals and you want your things to be in different patterns, I feel like you actually have options of going, okay, I could go for these stars for the points, or I can go for these red ones and I can start building this pattern, which will give me that part of the statue. Oh, but, so there are like these different things that allows for more things, and it makes it more exciting. And also, sometimes you could get some tiles from the objective quest, which kind of makes you complete another objective quest, so a little bit of a combo feeling. It made the game a bit more thinky without making it too complex. So very nice expansion. My number 8, Acropolis Athena.
Awesome. Yeah, I haven't played it, and I've only played Acropolis once, so I've been to the real Acropolis more times than I actually played the game. I don't know if that helps. All right, my number 7 game rose 2 spots from my initial expectation. It was my number 9 as expected, and it ended up number 7, and it is Ayub, a filler game, man. Just for you. I think it's the best filler game for me personally at the moment, and it is Super Kawaii Pets.
All right.
It's exactly what I want from a filler. It's simple, but it's still a game. It feels like a game. If you don't know the game, you have some sad pets, and all you have to do is make them happy. It's a card game. At the start of your turn, you draw 2 cards, and then you can play as much as you want. So it's like a small card combo-ish game that has a very good solo mode into it. Also helps. And I really, really like it. The artwork on the animals is... Even I that don't like cuteness, man, they're so freaking cute. That sad panda, man. I want to give that a hug. Number 7, definitely Super Kawaii Pets. I love this game.
Yeah, and I think the artwork is a very important part of the game.
Exactly.
So yeah, cool. Nice pick. My number 7 was not on my list last time. I don't know if I even knew it was coming out, but it was coming out, and you bought it, tried it. I almost wanted to put it a bit lower, just because I didn't play it that much, and especially not lately, but I remember how I felt when I played it at first, and therefore it is right here, and it is Dead Cells.
Oh, that was actually my number 1 expectation.
Yeah. I really liked it. Simple card play.
Wow.
Nice for the co-op with only some information, so you can't really be the, what is it called, the runaway leader, or not the runaway leader, but the quarterbacking too much, because everybody's playing a card, and then you just say, I will deal damage, or I will pick something up. And then okay, he's doing that, so he's probably not doing that, so I should do that. I like that part. And then the actual resolving of the cards were straightforward. So, really good. The first time feeling amazing. Dead Cells.
Nice. I'm so happy you had that game in. Let's see if I do. My number 6 is actually exactly what I anticipated it.
Okay.
I had it my number 6, and it ended up on number 6, which means, good job, Nick.
Yeah.
And it is a game that we have only played once. And it is a number 6, which means I really like the game. It is Golden Cup.
Okay.
Yeah. Golden Cup is like a football simulation back-building game, and it really, really amazed me. I had no idea about Challengers, the previous iteration. I've never played it, never heard of it. And when I actually saw Golden Cup, I'm like, damn, this looks cool. And then we had a chance to try it at the local board game cafe, and I really loved it. I mean, I hated the princess. She could not score for the heck of it, but I really, really loved the game. And I would love to try it again at some point, maybe with more players next time. My number 6, Golden Cup.
Yeah, I think it was very cool. It's on my short list, and I also want to try it again. Yeah, and with more players too. Okay, my number 6 was on my number 5, so it was almost the same spot, but I didn't manage to anticipate as well as you did, Nick. But we talked about the the graphic designer just before, Vincent Dutrait, because he also made it for this game, and this is Unconscious Mind. Huge game, placing these ideas, which is your workers, where you place them, determine how much you move on your input, how many you place, determine how strong you do the action. There was just so many things in this game that I think is super cool. The clients you get in and you put the grief layers on top, and you try to thematically, it also makes sense. The resources you have, the insight dial, where you can upgrade them and go up and down, like that little way. You can never really be like, oh, now I have 2,000 money and I can buy whatever I want. No, because you have a limited amount and you need to not waste them and throw them around. Really cool. It's not higher because I think it's a very heavy game and it had some rough edges. I think if it didn't have that, if it's somehow, I don't know how, but it wasn't there, it would be way higher.
If it was a different game, I would have liked it more.
No, just those edges, but it's a really cool game. So my number 6, Unconscious Mind.
Yeah, Unconscious Mind did not make it into my list. It was 11 for me. It was number 5 for you on your discipline. I don't know, man. It just feels like a more clunky, differently themed Endless Winter. So for me, I think I'd always rather play Endless Winter, but we haven't played an expansion for it still. Although you keep saying to me that it's not like the best expansion.
Yeah, but I didn't feel highly about the expansion. But I really like like I mentioned, when you place your workers, you're thinking about two things: what you get, but also how you move your input. That little thing on not every turn, but very cool.
My number 5 was my number 8 anticipation, which means it exceeded my expectations.
That's cool.
And it is a game that Ayub really loved. I'm guessing we'll see it later down the line. Of course, it's about Greece, so it will be amazing. And we're talking about Minos, Dawn of the Bronze Age. Oh my God, what a game. Dice drafting at its best. Amazing card play. I really, really liked it. The first time I played it, I was like, something feels off about this game. And you know what felt off? Me. I was tired. I had just played Nations. This was a 4-player game. And yeah, when we played it again and again and again and again, and again, it felt really good. I played it solo 2, 4. I think only 3 players we haven't played it yet. Maybe we have. I don't remember. Mm-hmm. At all player counts, it works perfectly. I really like it. Minos, we need to get that game on the table, man. And we have an expansion count for it. Super exciting. My number 5, Minos, Dawn of the Bronze Age.
Yeah, that's going to be very cool. Yeah, I liked it from the first play. I'm so happy you bought it, you know.
When I still remember the line, buy it. Yeah. Like, I don't know, man. But they have the extra things and it's only 50 euros.
Because you were like, maybe I should just get it another time. Oh, but you get everything here and it's probably going to be cheaper. Yeah. And I remember when I looked at it previously, before we went to Essen, I was like, okay, it says it has area control and stuff, so I didn't think I would like it, but it's a very minor part of the game. Cool. My number 5 was my number 7, so it also exceeded. One less than yours did, but still, super cool game, super cool expansion to a game that I already love a lot, and this is Barcelona. And in opposition to what I said about Athena Acropolis, this didn't add a lot, but the game was already really good, so it's nice that it didn't add too much complexity. You have these 2 pedestrians, dice, at a new little board that are walking back and front from Barcelona to Gracia and the other way around, and as they walk past some gold tiles, which, of course, towards the end of the game you would have done more of, but the more you've done, their value goes up on the dice. When they pass each other, they also wave and go up. And as soon as they're in the end, they score you for some different things and go back. Man, it added something very nice. And it covers up some of the old action space of the old game that just gave you like points and 1 resource spot. The 2 resource spots are now 1. So my number 5, Barcelona.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet. I'm like, man, get this game out, try it, play it, but I always feel like it's so daunting to just set it up and remember it and play the solo mode. So I haven't tried the expansion, so...
We should do it.
Yeah, we should probably do it soon. All right, my number 4 was my number 3, so it was below my expectations by a spot.
Oh no.
Still an amazing game by none other than your favorite designer, and that is Civolution by none other than Stefan Feld.
And our first perfect crossover.
Oh, damn, number 4 as well?
Yeah.
Nice. And where did you had it
6,
lower, right?
It was 6, yeah.
So it exceeded your expectations?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Civolution is just, for me personally, amazing. It has the exact complexity that I'm looking for in a game. Although being straightforward, you pick 2 dice, you see what you have to do, and then you go. But 2 6-sided dice, if you combine them, do you know how many combinations there are? A lot. So that's crazy. And there are so many things you can do. I've played the game 4 times now, and every single time I did something different, and they all worked. Everything worked, which means it's a very well, at least in my eyes, a very well designed game. I need to play it solo. I haven't played it solo yet, but I promise when I do, I'll make a review of it because I really, really want to. And actually, although we don't get that many messages, some people messaged me about making a solo review of Civolution. I don't know what you want to hear my opinion on that, but I'd be sure to actually
do. Of course, you're one of the solo kings, so you have to do it now.
All right, so our number 4, Civolution.
I also had a little bit of a roller coaster emotions with it.
Yeah.
I remember the first time we played it with the recommended first time setup where you kind of get an engine going in one way, and mine was what I think is the most boring part in a way, which is just flipping tiles. And then you get points. Of course, those tiles will have something everybody can use, but I just get extra points for flipping.
Super points.
And you already get, and I even remembered I kind of stopped a little bit. I thought I should continue, but I was like, man, this is too much. I should try and do other stuff. And then towards the end of the game, when I felt like you guys were catching up, I was like, I'm flip some more tiles. So that didn't feel good. But the last time I tried it, I did something different, and that felt amazing. So yeah, Civolution.
Should we switch it up or should I?
Switch it. We can switch it up.
Yeah. All right.
My number 3.
All right. Top 3. Hype.
Was very, very high on my anticipated list last time. But it is number 3 now. And that is the matcha expansion for the White Cat.
That was your number 1?
That was my number 1.
Okay.
Yeah. It is...
It failed you miserably.
Man. There was just other things that were even more...
I know what's above it, so yeah, I can guess.
Expansion is so cool. It was already a really good game. It added some new action spots. The board was, of course, a bit tight. It doesn't necessarily make the board less tight because there are still some things you maybe really want to do, but it still adds some other options, which is very cool. Then the combos you can get because of that thing where you can go upgrade your board, all of that. Man, it's a really good game, and it was kind of short-ish before because you only had 9 turns, and now you have 12. And if it was a long game, I might have been like, man, come on. But because you could play the game in like 45 minutes, an hour before, getting 3 more turns per play is not a big issue. My number 3, the White Castle Matcha.
It's good. It's good. I didn't make my cut, but it's good. I think I had it on number 14 for me. My number 3, I think, is the game that exceeded all my expectations, like skyrocketed to the top. It was an honorable mention, and I learned about it one day before we did the top 10. So I just looked at one video, and I was like, man, I'm going to love this game. And you know what I did? And that is Fate Forged, Chronicles of Kaan. We might get a chance to play it later today, so I'm hoping that you will also like it.
I haven't tried it
Fate Forged, yes, is a campaign game driven by an app. The combat is short, snappy. The setup is very quick. There's some narration to it. There's an expansion I have that I haven't played yet. And a little fun fact, they will make the sequel of Fate Forged based on what players do on their campaigns. So any campaign you register from March 1st, 2024 will be registered on their archive, and whatever ending, because there are like so many endings, whatever ending gets the most the most people do that ending will be the official ending of the first campaign.
Okay, that's
now I want to replay the game so I can do a better ending than I did because I failed miserably in my first playthrough.
That's cool, yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to try it's a different mode.
Yeah, the battle mode. Yeah,
and see how that works, and also how you like that compared to the other things.
Yes.
All right.
I think we have a perfect crossover number 2, man.
Most likely, yeah. 2 and 1 for me, where like I was battling so much.
Oh,
I think both are amazing.
Okay.
One was always amazing for me, and the other one just kept growing.
Growing, exactly.
But number 2 is City.
Okay, so it's a perfect crossover.
Yeah, so I think we talked about it before, but just this fact that you have like a few cards in your hand, 3, 4, whatever, you want to play them all, you can afford one. And you really need to feel like, okay, how am I going to do this? Okay, this will boost that action, and I want to do that action. Maybe I can play this card next. Like the tight economy in a game where that is just really, really nice. I love card play, and I love card play in this way as well, where everything feels good and you need to make those choices. Yeah, City.
City was my number 5. It exceeded expectations, of course. Amazing game. People compared it to Terraforming Mars. I can see why. It is very nice. I saw that there's something I think you would love.
Okay.
There is a little light bulb you can take.
Oh,
and you put it underneath the sun.
Yeah.
That's so you, man. You should definitely get that. Yeah, it makes it so amazing. Yeah, it's just an amazing game. Yeah. You covered it perfectly. My number 2 is also City.
So, yeah, pretty cool. I think I know what your number 1 is.
And I think I know what your number 1 is.
But I'll take mine. We already talked a bit about it. Minos, probably the best dice drafting feeling I ever had. I love dice drafting. Grand Austria Hotel is another game where you dice draft that I also love. But this way, where I just do it here and it just feels good. I take this color for that and I go up this track.
You should see his face. He's like, close his eyes. And
it's such a nice part. And also one of the reasons why the 3-player and 4-player games feels very good. So, yeah, Minos is my number 1.
And my number 1, remaining exactly where my expectation for it was. It was my number 1 expectation, and it made my number 1 game. It also made my top 10 of all time. That's how good it was. It is Dead Cells. You already talked about it. I played through the whole campaign. You can now find some of it also on BGA, and now I'm seriously considering it, and especially since you always mention you like it.
Yeah.
I'm seriously considering a hard reset so we can maybe play it again
Be
once
nice,
we finish Invincible and Near and Far. Could be something we can do next.
Oh, we should play Invincible soon.
Yeah,
So
amazing game. People, don't sleep on roguelikes.
Yeah.
Slave Aspire, Dead Cells, Warp's Edge, very good games. Just try and get them to the table.
Nice. Yeah.
Right.
All right. Pretty cool.
Yeah, wow, cool list.
Yeah, and as I was making the list, I was thinking I want to play all these again now, you know?
Definitely.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
In 6 months, you can... Also, we played other games, obviously, so some of them have 2, 3, 4 plays. You know, you want to get them higher. So, cool.
Some of the games that I haven't played, I already mentioned Barcelona and Acropolis. I didn't play Bus, the one you got.
Yeah.
And then you might have. I didn't play Black Forest, Explorers of Novoria, and Shackleton Base. Those were all honorable mentions for us. I didn't get a chance to play them, but I have a feeling that Black Forest, especially since it's like Uwe and I like all these, I think it would make also Explorers and Shackleton Base are things that could potentially be in my top 10 if I had played them. And I also want to very quickly mention some disappointments.
Okay.
Yeah. I have 2 games that I was really excited about that got me really disappointed. And that is Rages of the Ganges, Cards and Karma.
Okay.
That was very bad for me. And also Kraftwagen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it left my collection, and I have a feeling it's leaving yours as well.
Yeah. It's on the way out. Yeah. Kraftwagen, I think it's an okay game. It's not bad, but the expectations were high.
Yeah.
And we are at a point now where we only want to...
It was your number 9, I think.
Yes, it was my number 9. Things that are really good. Also, although not as much, because the expectations were high, Evenfall also kind of disappointed a bit.
Evenfall was my number 13, and I had it 4 as my expectation.
Yeah.
So it really...
So...
Yeah.
And I did try Shackleton Base. Only one time, only 2-player. I was thinking about putting it in, but it seems like also kind of in the same way as Minas, a game that could... It has
more
potential
players.
for 3 or 4 players, because there is some area control, but in a way where it's more like when you do this, you activate this line, and every player there gets something.
The good.
Yeah. So I think that was pretty cool.
Okay. One other thing I want to mention that we didn't talk about, but it's a very good game. It was in your honorable mentions, and it was my number 12 game for this list. It's Let's Go to Japan.
Yeah.
Which was a very nice game. It didn't make the cut just because, Fate Flip, I do like it a bit more, and then Unconscious Mind was 11. I think I definitely also like that more than Let's Go to Japan, but also almost made my list as well.
Yeah. Yep. That was also close on me. It's good that we can disagree sometimes, so it doesn't sound like we are holding hands all the time. Rajas of the Ganges, Cards and Karma, I do enjoy that. I played it again as well, and it was around my 12th.
Okay.
Pirates of Maracaibo, the expansion, is also something, but I haven't played it that much.
I haven't played the expansion, but I've been playing Pirates lately, and I really, really, really like that game. Man.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Ito, Castle Combo, Boss, the Aquatica expansion, and I kind of thought about if Cube Milk could sneak in there, but it wasn't... It's more like a dream.
Yeah. Castle Combo was my number 10 expectation, and I had it on 15 now, just to give you a little bit of where everything is. And everything else I've already talked about from my top 10. So, yeah, that wraps it up for me.
All right.
Good list. Excited for 2025. Be sure that we will definitely have an anticipated list in the coming months.
Yes.
So, stay tuned for that for sure. I've already started making my list. So.
We got to see more stuff coming out.
Yeah. I'm very excited. All right.
As always.
You know what time it is, my friend.
Let's do it.
All right. I will heat you up first.
Yes.
Let me go ahead and go to this list over here. All right. Your first game for our 5 on the fly. Your first game is a game that I really want to play before our next episode, because our next episode is the F episode. And I remember playing this game and liking it.
Okay.
But I don't remember it very well.
Okay.
And that is Fish Cook.
All right. I like Fish Cook.
Not that much.
Not that much.
Yeah, I get it.
But it's interesting. I'll put it at 4.
4 is valid. The next game, I think, is like, I don't want to say a failed version, but an inferior version to Innovation, and that is a GNC.
Oh. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan. Yeah. I'll put it at 5.
Oh, damn. Mr. Chadiak. You make Calvin very sad now. Push is your next game. No idea what it is.
It's a simple push your luck game where you flip and make some piles. Enjoyable fun, but not the best. So I'll put it in a 3.
And now the next game, I think it's one of the ones I played. I'm not really familiar with the names yet. It is Wayfarers of the South Tigris. Was it the one I played?
Yes,
or
that's the first one we played with the boat and stuff. That is a good game.
I know. 1 or 2, man.
Well, what's the last game? This is why this is always so difficult. You know what? Let us put it at 1.
All right. I think you will be happy with your choice.
Okay.
The last game is a game you enjoyed more than me, I think.
Okay.
It's a game you owned, and it is Radlands.
Okay. Yeah, that goes in 2. That's fine. It's a 2 versus 2 battle, similar to Mindbug, but 1 versus 1, but you're 2 players. But yeah, that was fun, but I think repetitive in the end.
So Ayub, you're telling me your 5 on the fly is Wayfarers of the South Tigris, Radlands, Push, Fish Cook, and a GNC. How do you feel about it?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Both Fish Cook and Push is like I don't play them that much, so they could switch, but they could also stay like this. So, man, good job, Ayub.
Yeah, and I want to say something. I don't know if you've noticed it, but on episode 29, it was your first victory on the poll.
Oh.
Yes. It was, I think, my worst list ever, but
people are waking up.
People are waking up. And my friends voted for you. What are you guys doing?
They're being real to you. You know?
Damn traitors.
You need to do better. They're teaching you, you know?
Damn traitors. Don't listen to him.
Tough love. Nick needs this. You all know he needs this. All right. Are you ready for your first game?
I was born ready.
Your first game is Space Base.
Oh, perfect. I'm not going to put it in number 5, but I'm cooling off on Space Base after a specific game I had of it. I don't want to put it too low, though, because I'm still like, I know it's a good game. Let's put it in the middle. Let's start at 3.
All right.
Let's play it safe, you know? We need a win again.
All right. I know you like the next game. We only played it together once, but you played it more and solo as well. And I enjoyed it as well. It is Imperium Classic.
Yeah, it definitely goes in 2. It's a good game. I haven't explored it a lot, but I can see it has a lot of things to offer. Very unique take on deck building. We'll put it in 2 for now. We'll see how it goes.
And then a very small game. Probably the smallest box game in the house.
Wait. The smallest box in the house?
Yes.
What? I don't know, man. For Northwood.
Is Buck. B-U-G, the thing we tried with the frogs.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Let's put it in number 5.
All right.
Let it stay there. I wasn't a fan.
Then you will probably be happy to hear this one. Your next one is
Terraformers.
Legacy of You.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this easy number 1. Easy number 1. Very good campaign game. Really, really liked it. I really want to play it again in 6 months' time. Legacy of You number 1. And my number 4 is what?
Your number 4 is a game I haven't tried, and it is Da Vinci Code.
Oh, that is a very simple game. Da Vinci Code is a game where you take 4 tiles in the beginning, and tiles go from 0 to 12. And also there is like a Pavla, I don't know what's that.
A line?
A line, yeah, one of them. And when you take them, they can be black or white, and you put them in ascending order.
Okay.
And you have them hidden from your opponent, right? If you have ties between black or white tiles, the black goes first.
Okay.
And then you start and you guess. That one is a 4. If it's correct, the opponent drops it down, and then you can either keep guessing, or you can stop, get another one of the tiles in the middle, and put it on your code.
Okay, so it stays true to its name.
Exactly. So it's like a deduction game.
Yeah.
Man, at some point, back in 2013, 2012, we were freaking obsessed with this game.
I can imagine, yeah.
We went to the board game cafe that had like 100 games, and we only played Da Vinci Code all day.
That makes me feel like this list might be how you would have put it if you knew all 5 from the beginning, maybe. You have Legacy of You, Imperium Classic, Space, Da Vinci Code, and Buck.
Probably, yeah. Maybe just for the feels of it, I would switch Da Vinci Code with Space Base, but if I was being real, Spaces is a better game, so I think this is how I would have done it. Wow, Da Vinci Code. Man, I want to play that game now.
Yeah. All right, everybody. That was it for this episode.
Whew.
Yeah, remember to follow us, text us what you want to hear more about. We are switching some of our more common episodes up a bit, so no more 3x3, but that means you will get to hear more exciting stuff.
Exactly. With Essen fast approaching and FreaksCon also around the corner, we have so many things to be excited about. Next episode, we'll do our F list, so that is also extremely excited. We heard some very good F games today, so let's see if they will make their way there. As always, thank you all so much for listening. This was Nick.
This was Ayub.
And you were listening to the Board Game Nerds Podcast. See you next time.